Hello folks, and a warm welcome. You're tuned in to my meditation, the Outdoors series. My name's Guy Cross, and I'll be introducing you to some interesting people with some interesting ways of using the outdoors to help sustain a healthy frame of mind. With being an outdoor lover myself, and using the outdoors to take care of my own mental health, I've always been curious as to how other people use outdoor hobbies and activities to take care of themselves, and that curiosity led me to the birth of this podcast series. My guests will talk about their favourite outdoor hobby, and we'll go into depth of how it helps them find peace of mind. Hopefully one of, if not many of the hobbies within this series will help you, or at the very least inspire you. And that's the whole aim of these podcasts, to fill you with ideas that maybe you hadn't thought of before, and to hear some positive, encouraging, real-life stories from my guests. Sometimes, hearing someone else's perspective on a hobby or activity gives you a fresh new way of looking at it, which can't be a bad thing, right? So without further ado, let's meet this week's guest. Hello everybody, so I'm with Mark today. He's my first overseas guest on the show, and he's from BC in Canada. He's a family man who's a semi-retired police officer. He's always had a love for the outdoors, but even more so in the last 2 years. He's had quite a hard time over the last 2 years, and he's got a really interesting hobby that helps him through that, which we're going to discuss today, and he takes part in that with his wife. So, but we're going to touch on that in a bit, but I'll introduce you to Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hey there, how you doing today?
I'm good, thanks, buddy. How are you?
Doing pretty good, thanks.
Good. How's BC today?
It's overcast, but mild, maybe 2 or 3 degrees. The snow is slowly melting.
A little bit chillier than it is here then, just a little.
Yeah, what's it there?
It's, I'd say about 5-10 degrees, something like that today. It's like a summer's day to you.
Oh, yeah, right. No, it's starting to warm up here, I think, by the end of the week. So I think low teens, 15, 16 degrees. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Nice. Well, let's go with the first question. And I was just wondering how you happened to get into the outdoors and when in your life.
Okay, I think for me, I've always been into the outdoors most of my life. I mean, I'm 45 here this spring. I would think starting from the age of maybe 8 or 9, I was kind of in the outdoors at a younger age, be it either fishing or hanging out with my grandparents on their farm, stuff like that. So I've kind of always been into the outdoors life setting. As I got older and met my wife, I continued, kind of staying in outdoor activities. I was always an outdoor guy, not so much ever as much inside. So with her, we really got into hiking, backcountry exploring, fishing, cave exploring, things like that. And then in the wintertime, it can be a long winter out here. And, so instead of stopping for the winter, we kind of got into snowshoeing.
We were gonna touch on that. I was gonna ask you kind of like, what's your hobby or activity, your kind of go-to activity for your mental wellness, and I'm guessing it's snowshoeing, right? Which is something we don't do a lot of here in the UK, if any at all. So if you'd like to just explain to the listeners exactly what snowshoeing is in case they don't know.
Yeah, so that's exactly it. Like the hiking, obviously summer, spring and fall, but the 6 months of winter, we kind of got into snowshoeing. It's a pretty straightforward outdoor activity. You can wear the same kind of boots and things like that, and you just strap snowshoes.
They look a little bit like tennis rackets.
Yeah, basically with
the old school ones anyway.
Yeah, the old school ones. I think the newer ones are a little more advanced in their technology. But with that being said, I've still seen people wear those old inverted tennis rackets kind of style
really?
On their feet. I mean, I think that's meant more for like deeper snow and things like that. But yeah, you basically just strap them on to the bottom of your, just a standard pair of winter boots.
Yeah, yeah. So you can wear any shoes for it. You don't have to have anything special.
No, maybe like an 8 or 10 inch boot that goes up your calf, right? Just in case you do get into the powder. But a lot of people wear like plastic gaiters and things like that to kind of cover the top of the boot and your pant, right? But and it's cheap, man. It's inexpensive. Snowshoes can be anywhere from $50-$60 to, I mean, I assume they're probably into the $500 to $700 range.
Yeah, depending on how passionate you are about it, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose, and what your budget is, and what you want to accomplish out of it. But yeah, man, that's basically it in a nutshell. I mean, a lot of the trails that you would use in the summer for hiking around here are transformed into snowshoe trails.
Yeah, so you kind of do the same trails almost, but it's in snow.
Yeah, but in snow, and then I think with the winters here, the lakes freeze over.
Okay.
So you can do lake crossing, which allows you to get a little further sometimes on the trails, because a lot of them, maybe stop at the lake or whatever.
So you're saying you walk over the lakes basically when they're frozen over, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do a lot of testing prior to that. Obviously, I'll take a small auger and I'll drill a hole just offshore before we start getting too crazy on the ice crossing.
Mm-hmm.
And then looking for at least 4 to 6 inches of ice, and off you go.
Wow, that's cool, man. That's really cool. I mean, it doesn't generally get that cold here to kind of do that kind of, to feel safe in doing that kind of thing anyway, but I'm guessing with that option you can get to other parts of the, I don't know, the wilderness that you couldn't get to if it wasn't frozen, right? Like you can get to other sides of the lakes where if there wasn't ice you couldn't get to, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly it, unless you had maybe a canoe or kayak to portage across or something like that.
But you couldn't just go hiking up there and just cross the lake, so to speak.
Yeah, and for us, we kind of look for the more remote stuff too, right? There's lots of trails that you can go up and down and pass people and things like that are meant for snowshoeing. Some, my wife and I would say 75% of the time, we try to get as remote as possible. Sometimes she doesn't like it as much as I do, but
is it a little bit scary for her?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of that, and maybe it's a lot of work sometimes when you get off into some of these deeper trails with deeper snow and stuff, right? So
sure. So it's a little bit harder on the legs, and
yeah, it can be a tougher workout, and it's a good workout, but yeah, she comes along.
That's nice. And do you come across any wildlife there? I mean, I'm not quite sure where in BC you are, but do you have bears and things you should be wary of?
I do pack bear spray when we go. Bears, they hibernate here in the wintertime, so they usually shut her down from October maybe through to late February, early March. But with that being said, I mean, they can come out of hibernation and they'll be around. There's other animals around here I wouldn't want to really run into, be it mountain lions or wolves or things like that. So I do carry a can of bear spray just in case.
Just for backup.
Yeah, man, you never know.
I know, especially where you're living right there. Exactly. I know they hibernate, but still.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, man. Yeah, and it's just sometimes we're so remote that if you'd want to have something just in case.
Yeah, that sounds really beautiful. And do you choose the remoteness? Is that what helps you with your mental wellness? Is that why you use it as your meditation? Is that kind of steering away from people to kind of get out there and just be with nature?
I think so, man. For me, it's I mean, I don't mind hiking or snowshoeing or hiking too in a small group, but for me, I think I do prefer more the solo, remote time just to refocus and reground. Even with my wife, like we'll go for 6 or 8 hours on some excursions, and maybe we talk 10 or 15 minutes of it, right?
Wow, yeah.
Even though we're both enjoying each other's company, she'll go off and take pictures of frozen trees or piles of snow or whatever, and she knows that I'm using it for my time to reground, refocus,
Yeah.
just kind of become one again.
Yeah, that's really nice. It's nice that you appreciate each other's space when you're together like that. You know, that you can be in silence, you can go off doing your own thing for 5-10 minutes, and the other one doesn't worry about that. That's really nice, and you both understand what you both want from the outdoors, right? Like she's there, like you say, to take photos and remember the memories and stuff, and you're there to for your meditation, basically, to ground and to come back.
Yeah, I'm there for that too, right? Like I don't even take once in a while I'll take my phone, but a lot of the times it either leave it behind or I leave it in the vehicle. But she's all about the pictures. She goes for her reasons, and I kind of go for mine. But like you said, though, like we both appreciate each other being there, and sometimes we will chatter, but a lot of the times it's we're doing our thing, but together.
Yeah. And in a way, your wife's she's using it for her meditation in a way as well, isn't she? Really, the photography thing is helping her, is making her focus. She's she's getting something out of it as well.
Yeah, she enjoys that side of it, and where for me it's just it's more of
for your mind. Yeah, it's for your mental well-being
too, right? Like I don't care if she wants to go snap 1,000 pictures. It's good because it gives me more time to
for yourself,
to just be in the moment. Yeah, for sure. So
nice. So has there been a point in your life where you've been quite low and you've used this for your mental wellness?
Yeah, that's kind of why I reached out to you there when I did see I saw your post on the hiking the hiking webpage there, and that's kind of why I reached out in the first place. To kind of share my story. A couple of years ago, or you mentioned I'm a retired police officer here in Canada. So a couple of years ago, basically over a 4-day period, I had back-to-back incidents that really affected me in a number of ways. I guess the first one I'll talk about, I was involved in a hand-to-hand basically fight with another guy for the possession of a loaded firearm in close quarters. Just trying to gain control of a loaded firearm, thinking what's going to happen if this guy gets possession of it. Everything was kind of resolved after 5 or 7 minutes. I was able to gain control and backup arrived. And then without incident, everything was taken care of.
Wow, that 5 to 7 minutes must have been the longest 5 to 7 minutes of your life.
Yeah, it seems like 5 to 7 hours, man. And
yeah,
lots is going through your mind in such a short period of time. Time almost stands still.
Yeah.
But then it speeds up, and driving home from that, that was the last day of my 4-day shift. So I'm driving home from that. Just can't wait to get home to see my kids and my wife, and just have 4 days to kind of decompress from everything. And then so heading back on my first day of 4 days of work, later in that first day, something that every police officer doesn't want to ever get involved in. I was involved in a gunfight.
Wow.
With a gentleman that was a police hater, and
Wow. And how long was this after how long was this after the incident, the first incident? How many?
4 days. Yeah.
4 days, is that all? Wow. Wow.
4 days. Yeah, man. Just, 4 days off to kind of recuperate and just think about life and everything. And then
Yeah.
4 days later, you're just thinking there's no way this is happening.
This is happening. Jeez.
Yeah, he was ready to take out, he was prepared for it. It was, something was going to happen that day. Somebody was dying that day.
Yeah.
And it was he was prepared to do what he wanted to do. And as hard as it was, I had to be prepared and to do what I was going to do.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it ultimately ended, in his death. That was the only way it was going to end. It was either going to be him or I.
Wow.
Yeah. And, it's something that you never think can happen.
That must have been, crazy.
Yeah, man, it was surreal. You see it on TV, you hear about it, just through TV and shows and the news. And to walk into something like that, not knowing that it's going to happen.
Like you were saying, I mean, you weren't expecting to wake up that morning to experience another traumatic experience, especially after what you've just been through, and then you walk into another one.
Yeah, you think things can't get any worse, or you think the only thing that can get any worse than what I went through 4 days ago was a gunfight, right? And
yeah, that's kind of what happened. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that was basically, that's kind of, that's it.
So after that, what happened after that? I'm guessing you took some time out.
Yeah, so I took some time off. I was basically signed off, which is kind of required. And then through the investigation and everything, it was a few months, and so I took some time, maybe 6 to 8 months, 9 months, somewhere in there, and went through some personal assessment with myself. Saw some doctors. A lot of conversations with my wife and kids, and then decided to take a medical retirement.
So
yeah,
that's why you're semi-retired now, right?
Yeah, that's it. I've semi-retired. I'm no longer associated with the police force here in Canada. I've signed off. Everything's done. I'm a fully medically retired police officer.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I'm guessing with after all of that happened, and with the 6 to 9 months kind of recovery time that you were taking for yourself, I'm guessing the snowshoeing and the hiking kind of came into play and helped you through that.
Yeah, because immediately after it happened, the incident with the shooting, you spent a couple months in shock, different emotions and things like that, and then I found myself really getting into a dark place. So that's, I'd always, like I said earlier, as a young kid, 8 or 9 years old, I've always kind of turned to the outdoors as an escape. But I had a hard time wanting to go into the outdoors again because of, I was scared. I didn't want to be out in the open. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to be in an unknown area. I needed somebody around me. Like, I was really in a dark place where I didn't want to be out in society, or even in nature for that matter. But, I slowly started getting into walks around the neighborhood, and then I'd go a little bit further and head to some trails that were nearby, but always within walking distance of home. But then realizing how important, and knowing how important nature and being out is, wintertime rolled in. I didn't want to get caught indoors and, kind of get into even a darker place.
Especially when you're used to using the outdoors so much anyway. It's kind of in your blood, isn't it? Since as a child, like you were saying. So it's your meditation, don't you? You know it's your medicine, too.
Yeah, it's your place to kind of go. And I had to get back into that mind frame, though, to realize that how much I enjoy the outdoors and the enjoyment that I got out of it. But like I said, it kind of rolled into winter time. It was cold. Trails kind of closed for hiking. No access kind of here and there. My wife and I had some old snowshoes that we had kind of used here and there, kind of every other year or maybe once a year.
Yeah.
But after that incident, knowing how important it was for me to get back out there, she really pushed me to get back into snowshoeing and getting outside and things like that. Yeah. So after the incident, man, we hit it pretty hard on the trails. We tried to get out as much as we could. Almost every weekend or at least every other weekend. And
and it's great that your wife's into it as well. I mean, that's amazing as well, isn't it? It's kind of encouragement and company for you out there, especially with how you were feeling at the time. I guess it was good to have company with you at the time.
Yes, definitely, man. Just some motivation to kind of get you to get back out there again, right? Because I was kind of the one that brought her into nature and hiking and the outdoors, and then 15 years later, she's the one that's like, remember, you brought me into this. You just you need to get back out there and
she's repaying the favor to you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, just knowing the importance of it and the benefits behind it, right?
Yeah, and I'm guessing, like, at the time when you were a bit kind of wary of going out and stuff, I guess once you got out there and you were out into the wilderness, I guess you appreciated it and you were glad you did it. You pushed yourself to kind of get out there.
Yeah, because I mean, it's, being on the trails or hiking and snowshoeing, it has so many mental health benefits, right? I mean, it's a huge stress reducer. We've talked about the meditation side of it. You can just get in the moment of where you are. You can concentrate on just the sounds of the crunching snow. Yeah. The snow-covered trees, or the sun beating off the snow, reflecting onto you. I mean, the mood elevation, the fresh air, at the end of the day, there's also an accomplishment to it. Your body feels good.
Yep.
You kind of get that runner's high. It's a natural pain reliever, right?
Yep. Yep. It's it sounds like it's an all-rounder.
Yeah, and it's also a good mental, reduces your mental fatigue. I mean, we're around phones and TVs and the news and loud noises, neighborhood noises. But when you're snowshoeing, I mean, there's no sounds. It's just you just crunching through the snow, so it gives you time to refocus, concentrate on your breathing, and just reground and get yourself in the moment again of life.
Yeah, that's exactly why I use the outdoors myself, because that's exactly what I get out of it as well. There's nothing better. And why would you recommend this activity to others? Would you recommend it to other people that are looking for things to do in the outdoors?
Yeah, I mean, for here, it's a good one for here, because like BC, man, I mean, in the area that we're in, it can be a long, cold, overcast, snowy, long winter, and people get indoors and they stay indoors until mid-March or April, and I would suggest snowshoeing as a way to stay active, to be out. I mean, you don't even have to go where we go. There's lots of trails around that are flat, that are easy.
Yeah, so for different levels of
it's different levels,
fitness,
man. If you want to make it as easy as simply as walking in snowshoes on a flat trail, or you can get into the mountain passes, where you can get a full body workout. So yeah. I mean, it's good for your body that way, but then for me, I lean on more snowshoeing for the mental health side of it, man.
Yeah. And that, again, that goes back to why you got in touch with me, right? Because of the post I posted, and it kind of fitted in with what what you use it for.
Yeah,
Basically.
you were looking for ideas on what people do for mental health. And I just know how important it is.
Yeah, and especially like you said, if you're having long winters. I mean, even here in the UK, we have quite long grey winters, you know. And if you kind of let the weather govern your mood and your activity kind of amount that you do, then you'd never get anything done, you know. So you have to get out there and you have to make the most of it. And like with the snowshoeing for you, it's a great way to keep hiking, isn't it? You know, like if you didn't have them, obviously you wouldn't be going to the places that you do. So
yeah. And then like for me, I feel so good at the end of it, and realizing how beneficial it's been.
Yeah,
but especially
definitely.
over the last 2 years, man, because it's really got me back on track in life. You know, because that way it's really pushed me through to get back into the activities that I used to like.
Yeah, no, that's really nice. And is, just going off subject slightly, is music important to you when you're out on your hikes? Do you listen to music, or are you more of a, I think you've answered the question in your answers before, actually.
Yeah.
Or do you prefer the nature? You're all about the nature, I think, aren't you?
Hiking, snowshoeing, boating. I don't take any music.
Yep.
I love the silence, the quiet, the sounds of whatever, if it's birds in the background, if it's the wind in the trees.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of it. Yeah, I'll leave any kind of
external
noise producing. Yeah, extra stuff, man.
Yeah, you just want the nature, you just want the natural sounds of, and I love that as well. You know, you can't beat it, can you? You know, it's and that's why you kind of go for it, I guess, isn't it? You know, that's why that's part and parcel of why you go there, I guess, is to get them sounds that helps you ground, I guess.
That's exactly it. Yeah, just the nature side of it. Even when we're camping, like we do a lot of summer camping here, and we'll go to areas that are harder to get into than others just for that reason. Like I don't want to listen to somebody's music or playing in the background, man. I go into nature to and you know, to kind of get away from it all.
Yeah. And especially like you say, summer camping, you know, you get the fire going, you hear the wood cracking.
Yeah.
The river next to you if you've got that. Yeah, it's definitely a special thing to do. We love the camping over here also. No, it's really nice. But where you live sounds really beautiful, actually.
It is. It's very nice here.
Yeah. My next question for you actually was whether you have a story of gratitude, which, in all honesty, I think you've kind of answered. But unless there's anything, any other, you know.
No, that's my biggest one, man. I mean, I went to work that day thinking, you know, it's just going to be, you know, taking files, answering calls, helping people here, helping people there. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I'm in a battle for my life, thinking I'm never going to see my wife and kids again. That thought crossed my mind. I don't even know how many times.
Yeah. So
I wake up every morning and go to bed every night grateful that I'm still here to, you know, to see my kids and my wife, man, because there were moments, like I said, that there was so much gunfire going on. I didn't think I was going to see my kids ever again.
Oh, that must be so crazy, you know?
Yeah, for me, my gratitude, man, is that I'm still here.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and you get to see your beautiful kids every day.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. I don't think that's all I'm here for is, you know, my kids and my wife, and the fact that I'm still here for them is a miracle, and I don't take any day for granted with it anymore. Not that I ever did, but it's even more meaningful now that how fragile life can be. Yeah,
I guess experiencing something like that totally changes your outlook on life, and
definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of the end of the questions for you. There's a little section at the end here that I'm kind of throwing in, and it's called Turn the Table, which is where the guest gets to ask me a question. So I don't know whether you have a question you'd like to ask me before we depart.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is kind of when I saw your original post, I guess if you could explain to me why you reached out to people to create, you know, this podcast related to mental health.
Yeah, well, I guess it's because, quite an easy one really, I use the outdoors a lot myself and always have done for my meditation, you know, and it's gotten me through some hard times in my own life. It's always something I've gone to if there's something going on in my life, I'll always try and get myself out for a hike or a cycle ride or something. And I've also got some like indoor hobbies that I enjoy, making crafts and just things that keep me occupied. And I also call that my meditation, you know, because I can't just sit there and watch TV and be brain dead kind of thing, you know, like I really need my brain to be working. And if my mind's focused, then I'm generally, you know, my mind's off my problems. So I could see how I was using the outdoors and the indoors in a way to my benefit, and it was helping with my mental state. So it just got me curious as to what other people used, you know. And that was that in a nutshell, that was it really, because I know, you know, there's like yourself, you do snowshoeing. I'd never thought of it or hardly ever heard of it really, because we don't do it here in the UK. So it's just to give people, I thought it could be a great way of giving the listeners some ideas and of indoor or outdoor activities that they could take up, you know. And some of them, like you say, they're cheap, they're free. Most of them, if you're just into hiking, just get some boots and kind of off you go, you know.
Yeah.
So I was just interested, and once I kind of put the feelers out there, and I got a few people coming back to me with all of these ways that they help themselves with the outdoors and stuff, I thought, wow, there's a potential for a podcast here to help people and to
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea, man. That's kind of why I reached out. I mean, I try to talk about the mental health and PTSD as much as I can. And I know the importance of it.
I think we forgot to mention that actually. You did suffer with PTSD, didn't you? Or you do?
Yeah, I've been diagnosed with it after the event. Sarah went through some evaluations and doctors and testing and stuff, and diagnosed with PTSD, and just so I try to use as much as I can from learning about it and dealing with it. Try to help as many people as I can, through creating awareness and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I do remember you telling me on your first call actually that you do a fair bit of voluntary work, don't you? You do like coaching and that kind of thing.
Yeah, my kids are both in high school and they're very active in the sports. So another thing that's kind of helped me too is I volunteer as much as I can at the high school with, I'm a volunteer parent there. I also coach my son in soccer. I help assist at the local golf club here for the junior program.
Yeah.
I've volunteered time at the high school is on lunchtime duties for working in the kitchen for creating meals. Same as a parent guardian, if they go on any class trips and they need parent help, I'll try to help them along with that as well.
Yeah. No, that's really nice. It's really nice that you're using your spare time to do these nice things. It's a very nice thing to do, and obviously keeps you occupied, keeps you busy. And again, you're outdoors, aren't you? You kind of
for sure. Like the soccer's outside, even like the golfing is outside. If they go on any hikes, a lot of the kids that go on day trip hikes or something like that, I'll try to tag along with those. Yeah, just to kind of be out there to keep pushing forward. With the mental health and PTSDs.
Yeah. Great. Well, good stuff, Mark. It's been really, really nice talking to you today.
You too, man. It's a great thing that you're doing. It's I think we need to talk about it more. And when I saw your post there, man, I had to reach out and kind of see how I could help you.
No, I'm glad you did. And like you say, you like to get the word out about the PTSD and you want to promote like the outdoors to help with your mental health state. And it's been a good way for you to get your voice out there, and it's been good for me to talk to you. Absolutely. You've and we didn't go in as in depth about your the police stories as what you didn't want too much being said kind of thing, but from what you told me, it's unbelievable, and the way you've come out of it, out of the other side into the light by using nature basically is just amazing.
Yeah, it was key, and it's been key in the healing process for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Okay, buddy. Well, I'll let you go. Thanks again, and thank you so much for reaching out. I appreciate it, and I hope to stay in touch with you.
Definitely, man. I'm glad I saw your post.
Me too.
All right.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day, buddy.
Yeah. Same to you. Take care.
Take care, Mark.
Right.
Bye, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Well, what an interesting little chat. Clearly Mark's had a lot going on in the last 2 years and had a huge stroke of bad luck, which in turn affected his mental wellness. But with the power of the outdoors and using it as his meditation, he pulled himself out of his dark place and got back on track. With the help of the mountains, nature, snowshoeing, and his wife giving him the encouragement he needed, he's definitely in a better place now and thoroughly enjoys his time with his family. After the show ended, Mark went on to tell me that he's more than happy to talk to and to help anyone that's currently suffering with PTSD. What a lovely chap. If you'd like to connect with him, his email address is pilsudski, that's pilsudski76@yahoo.com. I'll also leave it in the show notes of this episode. Thank you once again for tuning in. If you want to join us over on Facebook and Instagram, then search for My Meditation Podcast. I'll leave the links to both in the show notes, as well as the link to the official My Meditation Podcast channel, which you're more than welcome to subscribe to. The Facebook and Instagram page offer positive, inspiring and light-hearted quotes, photos and videos designed to bring a little happiness into your life. If you found any value from this podcast, I'd highly appreciate it if you could rate it and review it. And if you're feeling extra passionate, then please feel free to share it with the world and spread the word. It all helps the channel grow, which in turn means we can reach more people, which means helping more people. These podcasts are getting released every fortnight, so I hope you can join us for the next, and who knows, it could be about an interesting hobby or activity that could possibly be a life changer for you. Until then, take care and have fun, folks. Peace.